The marquee matchup of the day on Tuesday goes away of Bayern Munich as they win away 3-0 against Barcelona. Thomas Müller opened the scoring, then a brace from Robert Lewandowski. The difference in this one, as Barcelona dominated at home. In the aftermath, here's the response from Gerard Piqué. Quote, "We competed in the first half. Bayern took the lead with a deflected goal. In the end, I don't know how many kids we had on. It is what it is. We are what we are."
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are what they are. Let's start with Bayern Munich. It wasn't quite 8-2, Jürgen, but it was pretty comfortable.
Yeah, especially obviously second half. I think the goal from Thomas Müller deflected, was a bit lucky. Came out of in that moment out of nothing. It was pretty even there the first 20-25 minutes, half an hour. So I can feel with Piqué a little bit, But what we saw in the second half was just a lesson from Bayern Munich to a post-Messi Barcelona that is trying now to find its new identity, its new way of doing things. Obviously, new players, and Piqué mentioned it. Ronald Koeman then brought on a couple of youngsters, towards the end for the last 20-25 minutes, but. It's kind of a bit sad to see because I think we all are in a certain way Barcelona fans, especially because of Messi, and he's not there anymore now. Now it's a team that they have a couple of experienced guys, obviously with Piqué, with Busquets, Jordi Alba, Ter Stegen in goal, but it seems there's no leadership anymore. It seems that there's nobody on the field that kind of guides everyone else, and if you see Depay up front, Memphis, he was left by himself, and he didn't see a ball against Upamecano at all in the 90 minutes. So it's going to be a tough year for Barcelona. Obviously, in the Champions League, they will run against very, very good teams, and obviously the standard is Bayern Munich. I mean, they are just so in sync. They are just kind of a machine almost, how they play their games and win their games. But it will be interesting to see how Ronald Koeman is able to fix things for this very different Barcelona team now, how many young players he can really throw in there in order to grow. And there's no growth without pain. I always say that when you throw in some youngsters and give them a chance, there's always a risk of not getting the results in the first place. But it's going to be very difficult for Barcelona to survive in the Champions League.
Frank, no shots on goal for Barcelona. They were outpossessed. I mean, this team is almost unrecognizable from what they used to be.
Well, that's painful, I have to say. When you watch them, and it's painful for us to watch them because we don't recognize the historic team that we used to see. And I think about the four players that Jürgen just mentioned: Piqué, Alba, Busquets, and Ter Stegen. We used to dominate the world with this team, at least compete with Bayern, Madrid, and some others, Manchester and Juventus, and now they belong to another planet. Well, I guess Bayern belongs to another planet, and they came back to Earth, and that's a real nightmare for the fans, I guess. I don't know how long it's gonna last. I don't know how long it's gonna take for the kids to grow up and to get mature. But it's a real nightmare. It's a real nightmare, and it's painful to see Barcelona in that stage.
Ale, you see Barcelona in La Liga, and they kind of can mask the deficiencies, but you see the record here against proper opposition. They're not even losing, they're just getting hammered.
3-0 doesn't even begin to tell you how different these two teams are and how much of a difference exists between Bayern Munich and Barcelona. 3-0 was dominant. But it was a walking 3-0. It was a training session 3-0. And this is Champions League. And this is Barcelona at home. And they took, and I mean, this is a good old-fashioned backside whooping. It almost felt like they did not belong in the same field with Bayern Munich.
Do they anymore?
Well, apparently not. And Piqué is telling us that. We are what we are. And what they are right now is a team that is no longer elite, not to the level of Bayern Munich. Now, they can compete in La Liga, they may give it a run and perhaps contend for a title. But in terms of competing at the elite level of Champions League, no sir, not right now and not anytime soon.
Craig, what do you make of what Piqué says there? I mean, he's probably not lying, but is that what you want to hear from your leader?
I think it's a little bit disingenuous from Piqué to be talking about kids because, yes, the kids came on, but the game was dead and buried by that point.
Yeah.
You look at that front line, that's not kids. That's experienced players from midfield forward. They signed Eric Garcia at the back, you know what I mean, from Man City. That's one of their choices. He's saying they are what they are, but they were what they were, even with Messi. They didn't win the league with Messi the year before.
The 8-2 happens with Messi.
So they were what they were and they are what they are. When you have a 32-year-old misfit up front who, quite frankly, wasn't getting a game at other clubs in La Liga, then what do you expect?
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for them. I mean, it's just bad man management from top to bottom. And you know, the bottom line is we're completely. I mean, Bayern Munich never get out of first or second gear. Yeah. They're not in that class anymore at this moment in time.
To see Barcelona at home, absorbing pressure,
Yeah.
with numbers behind the ball, defending and hoping that they can close down gaps and spaces so that they can make it somewhat difficult for Bayern Munich, instead of being the sort of team that, and this is a word that Jurgen loves, being proactive with the possession, taking teams into their defensive half and being able to connect passes in the manner in which Barcelona is supposed to be doing it. Man, it is a different team and a different outlook for this group that you just cannot be encouraged if you're a Barcelona fan.
So obviously, no surprise here, Ronald Koeman getting hammered in the Spanish press. Lots of criticism. Jurgen, from the manager's perspective, is there much else he can do? We're talking about the players he's got. Like Luuk de Jong is not a 9 at Barcelona. He's not a starting forward at Barcelona's previous level for the standards they expect. What can the manager do?
Yeah, I mean, one thing is you can only hope that the youngsters grow really, really fast, but also that a couple of players maybe come back. But it's a very tough decision for Ronald Koeman. Man, he didn't expect Messi to leave. He didn't expect Griezmann to leave. And so now it has a completely different face. I mean, he can only hope really that Piqué and Busquets and Jordi Alba, they really kind of step it up now. They open their mouth, but in a constructive way, in a positive way, and give the entire environment some energy there. And obviously, La Liga, I think, is manageable, but Champions League will be very, very difficult for them. So it's now a process that they go into that is for Ronald Koeman very, very difficult because he expected it differently. But he's a fighter. Ronald is a fighter. He lived it and he played it on every level. And I can only hope for him that things will turn. But the demonstration of Bayern Munich today was just a really tough one to swallow for them, for Barcelona, because I mean, they were just dominating every little part of the field with every single player. If you compare player 1-to-1, they just were in a different league, and so it's gonna be a couple of tough months ahead, or maybe entire season or 2 seasons for Barcelona.
Frank, I think I've hardly met a Barcelona fan that likes Ronald Koeman. Is the criticism justified?
Well, again, as Jurgen said, you don't have a possibility to make your team better because you lost two of the best players you could have. If you consider that Griezmann is one of the top players in the world, which I think, and even if he lost the confidence that he needed to show his talent, but when you lose the skipper, then you lose some of the players because of injury or because they left the club. It's hard to pretend to do something that the fans are looking for. You don't have the squad to be good enough to compete in the Champions League. You have young kids, and then you have players who are maybe a little bit too old to be effective like they used to be. So you have to break everything. It's like building a wall with very fragile stone at the bottom and put long, heavy stones on the top. You're going to collapse. Your wall's going to collapse. You have to break everything and restart from scratch. How long it's going to take, I don't know. Koeman, is he the man who can sort the problem out and build the right wall? I don't know. He knows the house. Will he have some time to do so? I'm not sure about that.
When do you talk to Barcelona fans?
Well, you know,
I've been.
I thought you were going to say, when do you have friends?
I've never seen a Barcelona fan around here.
He goes out, searches.
You know what I mean? So, like, two things here. Barcelona are not in the conversation for this competition this year. They'll probably get to the knockout stages and then they'll be knocked out. And secondly, Ronald Koeman's a dead man walking.
You think this team would be better with a different manager?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I don't think...
You hesitated a little there.
No, I think there are many, many better managers than Ronald Koeman, and I think for that reason, he's a dead man walking eventually anyway. He's just keeping the seat hot until they make that decision. Let's be frank about it.
And if you want to look at a player that is symptomatic of what Barcelona is right now and how difficult this transition and painful this transition is going to be, you look at Sergio Busquets. At his very best, the best player in that position in the world, no doubt about it. But now he's been asked to do a different type of job. And if Barcelona doesn't have the ball, then Sergio Busquets loses all that efficiency and that effectiveness because he doesn't control the game. And now he has to chase around. And to see him today trying to keep up with Leon Goretzka or keep up with Thomas Müller when he floats into those spaces or Kimmich running by him, it's painful. It is very obvious to see that that's not going to work. Right. And when you see that, that's on a small picture, on focusing on one player. But then you can say that about many players and many areas around the field. The difference is too big between Bayern Munich and Barcelona.
Should we maybe actually talk about the team that won?
Sure.
A little bit here. Frank, as far as Bayern Munich goes, I mean, we talk about City, we talk about Chelsea a lot as Champions League favorites. They've got to be right there in the discussion, certainly after how they look today.
Of course, they always been. The team is even stronger than last year with Sabitzer coming, Upamecano. I think some players are left, but I think it was the right time for them maybe to leave. But I think Bayern is back to the race to win the Champions League if they left at some point. But they complete everywhere. I think I never seen Davies as strong as he is right now. He's unstoppable. Lewandowski still fine, everything, perfect for him. Even when some teammates hit the post, he's always there to finish the job. In the middle of the park, they're so strong, and they seem so solid at the back. So yes, they must be named the contender and the title contender for the Champions League. That's for sure.
Craig, who stood out to you today from Bayern?
Davies. I think Upamecano, but it's hard to judge because of who he was playing against and the way they played. But
imagine us saying that.
What?
Yeah. Just that it's hard to judge because of how they played against Barcelona.
Yeah, it's just the way. But whatever came his way in Sula, they handled it well, big and strong. I can't say Manuel Neuer because he didn't have anything to do. But I go back to Frank's point. I mean, the way Lewandowski has started this season again in terms of his goal scoring is quite unbelievable to see the guy still have that hunger to go and smash more records. And the way he reacted to that ball that came off the post was just, we talk about great goals, but the reaction just of a natural striker, still sharp, just to react in a split second and toe poke that into the goal. Fantastic.
You know what was crazy about Lewandowski today is that he scores a couple of goals, and to me, one of the most impressive things about Lewandowski was the 92nd minute. They're winning 3-0. It's easy, as comfortable as it can possibly be. The ball pops out to the right-hand side. It seems like it's going out of bounds, and Lewandowski, from a central position, sprints out to go get the ball. Almost as if to say, 3-0 is not enough. Let's go for 4. Let's go for 5. And that's a mentality that you see from Lewandowski, and really you see across the board from Bayern Munich. That is the difference between what Bayern Munich is, what they pretend to be, what they're going to be this season, and what Barcelona are right now.
And I think what we should realise as well is, I don't know what the guys think, but I think they're only going to get better because let's not forget, Julian Nagelsmann is only just a couple of months in there. So even you're still learning about your players because you're seeing them day to day and you get to know them even better, and then you get to know your squad even better. And then, so he's building an understanding of just how everything's going to work and all the pieces of the jigsaw. And for him, I think he's going to get better in terms of his team selection as we go forward.
Speaking of getting better and better, one of the Lewandowski goals comes off a rebound from Musiala's shot. Jurgen, this kid, every time, it's a greater and greater impact when we see him on the field.
Yeah, and how many times we talk about Robert Lewandowski. It's just as you guys said, I mean, he's just hungry. He always wants the next one. And he kind of teaches that to everyone around him, you know, that there's always the next goal to go for. There's always the next moment to go for, the next trophy to win. And that drives Bayern Munich. They are just hungry for trophies all year round. And the way they supplemented their roster now, Upamecano from Leipzig, now Sabitzer from Leipzig. Sabitzer, who's kind of filling in a little bit for Thomas Müller here and there. Maybe he gets a bit tired here and there, but he's still going on like a young kid and still scoring. Then you see the competition between Gnabry and Sané and Musiala for two slots, 3 players that are, all 3 of them are outstanding. Lewandowski, the goal-scoring machine, and then you have 2 midfielders in a 6 and an 8 role with Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka, that are just going non-stop and on a very, very high aggression level that intimidates the opponents. So all they did, you know, was they have now a team with, I would say, 14, 15, 16 starters basically on the same level, on a top class level. And it's going to be, I mean, it's going to be very difficult for any German team to beat them in the Bundesliga, but then also for the other Champions League teams to compete with them.
But that wasn't a test for Bayern Munich.
No, not today.
And
you said a training match, right?
That's the sad reality. That wasn't a test. So we're still with a lot of these teams at the guessing stage is how strong are they going to be against the other teams we perceive that are going to be fighting all the way at the end. You know, PSG, City, Liverpool, maybe one of the big Italian teams. You know, Juventus are struggling a little bit at the moment. But that wasn't a test. That was a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.